Hi everyone, we are the group number 12 and we are going to show you the experiment called fermentation of glucose using yeast, which consists of a simple experiment involving the yeast catalyzed fermentation of sugars, where we are going to obtain production of ethanol and carbon dioxide as a result. This experiment is easy to carry out, fast, and don't require expensive
Materials. To do this experiment, we use the following materials: milk, sugar, water, yeast, flour, stove, metal spoon, and Ziploc bags. Methods. We labeled the Ziploc bags with numbers of 1 to 6 and added these different substrates.
The bakery boiled with 100 milliliters of water with sugar and yeast, and 50 milliliters of the solution added to the bag. In the bag 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, and add 50 milliliters of water. Close and count the time. Wait and measure the height of the bags, and wait 24 hours. And again, measure the height of the bags, and repeat this process using vinegar.
In table number 1, the result of the different members of the group are observed. In system 1, all the members obtain a negative result. This one is considered the first control bag because it doesn't ferment due to the law of the glucose substrate.
As can be seen, bag 2 presented an increase in size due to the fact that it contained sugar, yeast, and warm water. Initiating alcoholic fermentation, what happened was that the hot water favored the fermentation by separating the glucose that was ingested in the yeast, and its mitochondrial glycolysis produced carbon dioxide.
Glucose plus yeast equal alcohol plus carbon dioxide plus heat plus secondary products plus ATP. The process by which CO2 was produced is due to the fact of Saccharomyces cerevisiae use the glucose from the medium, and through glycolysis it uses ATP, forming pyruvate, which through decarboxylation produces CO2 and ethanol.
The third bag contained sugar, yeast, and boiling water. Even though the components of bag 3 were the same than the bag 2, this one didn't show the gas product. This is because the Saccharomyces cerevisiae is a mesophilic organism. That is to say, the boiling water killed the yeast and therefore enabled it to metabolize the glucose and produce carbon dioxide.
Control number 2 is system 4. In it, all the members obtain a negative result because it doesn't contain yeast, which provides the simaso responsible for catalyzing glucose and other simple sugar in ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide.
In bag 5, an increase in heat was observed, so fermentation occurred as in bag 2. But this process was around 3 times slower. This is due to the fact the flour is a substrate in bag 5 needs a more complex process. Also, depending on the type of flour, non-fermentable substrates as proteins can be present up of the 15% of its composition.
The starch present in the flour had to be converted to glucose to carry out the alcoholic fermentation process. So, the starch was converted to maltose with help of the enzyme amylase present in the flour, which in reaction with water produces a hydrolysis. Then, the maltose, with help of the enzyme maltase present in the yeast, by a second hydrolysis, produces glucose, the adequate substrate to carry out the alcoholic fermentation process.
Conclusion. First, in bag 2, the necessary conditions for the alcoholic fermentation process were found. Second, there is no change in the number of hydrogen atoms to carbon atom. And third, the fermentation speed was indirectly evaluated for the decrease in weight.